Hello, hello. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. TGIF, today is Friday. That means I'm going to do a rundown of all the social media news and updates from the week. And I know that I'm having a bad hair day, but you know what? I just got off my Peloton bicycle not too long ago. You know, the Peloton bike, like you see the commercials where the woman, you know, she gets up in her fabulous house and she goes to her bike that's in the middle of her gorgeous living room that is surrounded by floor to ceiling windows. And I think like you see like the Swiss Alps or like the Colorado Rockies in the distance. Yeah, it's not like that. It's in a dark room in my basement. And but I did do that today because I missed my yoga class and I have bad hair as a result. But we never let bad hair stop us from doing a valuable live stream, okay? Now, you don't want to look so bad, though, that you scare your audience, okay? So, yeah, I doubt that. I bet your house is just like the ladies in the commercial. I am willing to bet money on that. But if you have a Peloton, do you not love it? It is just amazing. The other thing I want to say, since we're talking social media, about Peloton is that, so just to let you know, if you don't know what it is, it's a bike it's a social bike. So it's a stationary bike and you can do a spin class, but you could do it in real time with real instructors, with real people who are all in the room with you. So it's like a virtual spin class. You could choose to take recorded classes or you could take, live classes. I mean, it's so real. I mean, it is real. So like you're there and your monitor is in front of you and you're watching the spin instructor and you're listening to the music and you can see other people in the class and he or she will say, "Oh, hey, Jen, welcome. I see this is your 50th ride," or "Keep up that cadence," because they could see my output on the bike. So it's so cool. But what I want to say about social media and the Peloton bike, and this is honestly the way everything is moving, but you know, everywhere now they're asking us to create an avatar, a profile picture, a screen name, a profile, like whatever it is, like if you're using Instacart or, you know, what, all the things, right? So because Peloton is so social and at any given time there's 1,000 people in the room, and you could see all the people who are in the room with you, I realize there's a way to tweak your profile so that you could come up with whatever clever username you want, but you can add instead of adding my location, because it gives you a space, I added jenlehner.com. So it's going to, good morning, Barb. So it's going to be interesting to see if I get any website visitors from the Peloton community. Just had to say that. But do keep that in mind as you know, if you're going to be in a space with a lot of people, why not put your domain name wherever people can see it, you know, without being obnoxious. You don't want to put it, you know, you don't want to go to a funeral and start handing out your URL or like on one of those funeral websites. That, of course, would be not good. Okay, let's get on with the news, shall we? So what I've been doing lately is I do this, I'm not going to say her name, Amazon Device Flash Briefing, Alexa. And I do that every single day, Monday through Friday. And then on Fridays, I do a weekend edition. So I summarize everything that happened from the week. If you want to subscribe to these short little updates, you could just go to, Anika will probably put it here in the links, but you could go to Amazon.com and just type in the search bar Front Row Entrepreneur. It'll pop up and you can subscribe to it. And once you do, you just tell your device, "Hey, what's her name? Play my flash briefings," and you'll hear me come up. You can also subscribe to my bot, and I'll put that in the chat when we're done if Nika doesn't come along and post that for me. And so anyway, these weekend little roundups have been, I've enjoyed doing them, so I'm going to do it right now. Okay, so I start off these broadcasts letting you know what tomorrow is in terms of a national day, because using these national days is just or international days, low-hanging fruit for what to post on social media. And if you go over to the show notes page, which is jenlehner.com/flash, you'll see a link to this holiday calendar, but you could also just Google like national days and something will come up. And this is just a fun, creative way to create some content around a trending topic. Okay, so tomorrow is Pardon Day. And look, I don't know what half of these mean. Pardon Day? Okay. Literacy Day, World Physical Therapy Day, Actors Day, Iguana Awareness Day, Star Trek Day, and International Drive Your Studebaker Day. Yeah. Okay. And also trending on hashtag right this very minute is hashtag Friday Feeling. So everyone in the world can create some sort of content around the hashtag Friday Feeling and make it relevant. And I'm sure that it's trending on Instagram as well. Okay. So on with the news. Really nothing huge today. Only thing is that Instagram has created this parent guide. If you want to take a look at it, I put a link on the show notes page, but it's a parent guide giving you some cues and subjects and things you might want to talk to your kids about. And if I look like I'm rolling my eyes, I'm not trying to be cynical. It's just, I mean, I think it's great. I really do. And I think all these things are important. In my experience, when I go and talk with kids about social media in schools, I always find that they are so used to getting like the finger wagged at them, and they can recite the rules back to you in their sleep, you know, standing on their head. Like they know the rules, but it is good to have a conversation with them. I just like to frame the conversation in a way that leaves it, that makes it fun, because like my kids, you know, I see what they're sharing, and we talk a lot about it, but we do it in a way that's like conversational, as opposed to, do you know what you're posting? And you better know who your followers are. It's important to do that. It's just every time these guides come out, I'm like, okay, they're, you know, anyway, I'm getting off topic. Take a look at it. Tell me what you think. Maybe it is exactly what you're looking for right now. And the other reason I'm kind of rolling my eyes is they're doing all these little things on the side to show what a great citizen they are. Like the thing that they've added to the app that shows us how much time we're spending in the app. And I really do roll my eyes at that, because nobody is going to look at how much time they're spending in the app. I mean, maybe they will. And maybe there's a few people will say, wow, I'm spending an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day on Instagram. I better cut that out. Or because we all know we're spending too much time on social media, and we kind of don't want to be reminded of that. I just think they're doing that as a PR, you know, a positive PR, goodwill kind of thing, which if I were their marketer, I would tell them to do exactly the same thing. Like, I think it's smart. I'm just thinking, is it really making a drop in the bucket? Who knows? Okay. I know I sound a little bit cynical. You know, I'm really not cynical. Okay. The other thing is that Twitter is testing out this new user experience for the web. And there was a whole list of things that they are trying out and experimenting, but it really boils down to more like design things. And I love when your app reloads. Don't you love it when you get a new app and, or your app updates and it looks so much prettier, or there's just some new little feature? Like, I totally love that. This is all design related. It's on desktop. And you may see a pop-up that invites you to join in on this new experience. So that's really all I know about that. So nothing really huge today. Want you to mark your calendars for September the 12th at 1 p.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. That is, Apple's going to be doing their latest keynote. I always love watching those, and I'll probably be hosting a watch party right here or in my Facebook group, The Front Row. So put that on your calendar. Of course, I'll remind you as well in the flash briefing. Okay, so Sam says, hey, Jen, let me add this to the broadcast. Hey Jen, Sam here from Costa Rica. Hi Sam, question, what platform are you using for this live? Big fan here. Oh, thank you Sam, great to see you. I love any opportunity to talk about the platform that I'm using right now, and it is called Ecamm Live, okay? And let me tell you something. First of all, do you have a Mac or a PC? Because this is only for Mac. So before I start talking about this and getting your hopes way up, if you don't have a Mac, you are not going to be able to get this. And there's no time in the foreseeable future when these lovely guys, two twin brothers who own this company, are going to be making this available for PC. So I have to get that out of the way. But if you're using a Mac, the price just increased to a whopping, are you ready for this? $79. Oh no, Sam. Okay, we'll talk about what you can use in replacement, but $79 one time. You don't have to pay any ongoing monthly rates. If anybody's interested, I do have an affiliate link I'd love for you to use, which I'll post in the chat. But it's so fantastic because I can do interviews. As you can see, I can trick it out with all sorts of stuff. Video plays seamlessly. Check this out. You can't even tell really that I'm switching over to a video. Let me see if I can find one that would be a good example of that. Well, I'll just go into a video. Okay, watch. See, is that not the coolest thing? Ash, everything is happening. I'm just doing an update of the social media news from the week, and Sam asked what platform I was using, and I was saying that it's Ecamm, and it's just so seamless. So you can use OBS, Sam, so online broadcasting software. And it is free, and I do have trainings in the vault of my private community, but honestly, you could just go Google like how to use OBS. It is free. It is exactly 100% as good as Wirecast, which is $500. And I know that because I purchased Wirecast like 3 days before I discovered OBS, okay? So I am pretty proficient in quite proficient in Wirecast, OBS, and Ecamm. And really, Ecamm and OBS do all the same things. There's just a few less clicks with Ecamm, so it's a little more fun to use. But honestly, you could do all this in OBS 100% free. Just go and look for some YouTube videos or join my private community, frontrowvip.com, and you will love it. Okay, and I'm so sorry it's not available for PC. All right, so let's get back to our updates. What did I just throw away? I just stuck something in the trash can, but I don't know what it was. Okay. Let me catch my place. Okay, so I was telling you to mark your calendar for the Apple keynote. We're going to have a watch party here or in my the free group, Front Row. If you're not a member, go to frontrowclassroom.com and make sure and join us. And today, on that note, I know, I need to get rid of this. Today is TGI Friday. And what that means, you guys, is that you get to go into the front row and promote whatever you want to promote. As long as there's no affiliate link, because it might compete with my affiliate link, you can share whatever you want. Just do it under the TGIF meme. But here's the clincher. I send that out in a roundup email to my list every week. So you're going out to my list when you do this, and it's a really good idea. So in your favorite groups, in your large groups, most importantly, in your Facebook groups where the people are your ideal clients, most groups have promotion days. So make a note, just jot them down in your calendar, and just make that part of your hygiene to go in and take advantage of those opportunities. Because really, there's so many good people to meet out there who want what you have. Okay. Recaps from the week. And all these are at jenlehner.com/flash. So I don't know, nobody has really probably been watching the Senate Intelligence Committee hearings because we have these other hearings. We just have so much happening, hearings and politics and like lions and tigers and bears happening in the United States that it's really easy to miss. But there is like a lot of intense stuff happening with the Congress and the big companies. Google being so arrogant, all like, I don't even need to be there. They didn't even show up. But one of the senators, Senator Warren, I believe, was really badgering Jack Dorsey, who's the CEO of Twitter, and saying, Why don't you just tell us who the bots are? I could just go on a whole other separate live stream about this, but to watch these old guys, and not to say old people can't understand social media and digital stuff. Hello, no spring chicken right here. But I mean, these old men, and they're just like, why can't you just tell us it's a bot? And they don't understand, like, the whole reason a bot is a bot, and the way that they're able to infiltrate and be so effective on Twitter is because they fool Twitter, they fool Facebook. And so Jack Dorsey said, okay, that's a great idea. We will add badges to bots as far as we can recognize them, because they read our scripts and they pretend to be human. So it's just, it's a really interesting time that we're living in right now. There's this huge gap of information and this huge gap of understanding. It's very hard to communicate. It's like two different worlds trying to talk to each other, and one person saying one thing and the other saying, like, what? I don't understand, but why don't you just tell us they're bots? But you can't. Okay. All right. Snapchat has launched 2 new styles of their spectacles. I have been holding out on this. I'm not a huge Snapchat user. In fact, I only use Snapchat because I have so much fun with Snapchat. I just don't think there is a more fun app out there. It is so much fun. Like, go into Snapchat and just play with it and send some snaps to your friends. They have the best filters, the best features, but I don't really use it for business. But these spectacles are really hands-free glasses. They're water resistant. You can take, I think, up to 70. Let's see here. I made a note. They're hands-free, can capture up to 70 videos or hundreds of photos on a single charge, and then you could transfer them to your phone. And so maybe I'll get them even if I don't get a pair, even if I don't use them for Snapchat. So that's worth noting if you're interested in that sort of thing. Also, they've just added a feature that is just like Instagram's Boomerang. It's called Bounce, but instead of how, like, you just get whatever you get when you do a boomerang in Instagram and it's going to play that in a loop, with Snapchat's new Bounce, you could select where you want it to begin to loop, if that makes sense. So Ash says, oh my God, Google's so arrogant. I bet they'll subpoena them. Was proud of Cheryl for being there. She looked boss. Yes, agree 100% with everything that you just said. Okay, what else? Instagram is looking to launch a standalone app for online shopping, and the app, get this for a name, IG Shopping. I mean, how generic can you get? But I'm a huge fan of just like being totally obvious and not being cryptic and cute. So it's going to be called IG Shopping, and it will be a separate app, and that's all I know. And it will be available to people who don't necessarily have 10,000 followers and don't get the chance to do the swipe up thing. So keep your eye on that. And of course, I will keep you posted as that develops. This was a huge development this week. And that is, hi, Rolga. And hi, Rachel. That is because you can now record on Skype. Now, let me tell you why this is such a big deal. First of all, we forget about Skype, but Skype is awesome, and Skype has been making great improvements as of late. But the huge drawback from Skype is that if you wanted to do, like, for instance, right here in this software, really it was just like one click, and people made it more complicated than it is. But if I want to bring someone in to interview properly on this app, this really is terrible, bad hair day. Then I have to use Skype, and then I have to use Ecamm has a separate product, and I'm wondering what they're going to do now. It's one of their best-selling products called Skype Recorder, or Ecamm Skype Recorder. So you don't need to use the third-party app anymore. Now you can just record right there in Skype. So it's going to be great. The other thing that's so handy about this is that whoever you're bringing in, whether it's, 1, 2, 3 people, whoever is in that call, in that Skype call, they will all get a link to the recording. And they will also see that you are recording. So don't try to pull a fast one on anybody. They will be able to see that you're recording. But that was really great. The weird thing, though, is that this is not available to Windows 10 people. So weird. It's a Windows product. So I'm imagining that you will get it at some point soon, but I was super excited about that. Facebook has published a new report which looks at optimal video performance among various age groups and consumption types in order to help businesses better utilize their various video options. And the link to the report is at jenlehner.com/flash. And I think this is terrible news for us, but great news for, well, I'm both. I am a consumer and a creator, but YouTube has announced that it will expand the role of non-skippable ads across the platform. It used to be only available to some creators, and now it is available to all content creators who are eligible for promoting their content. I have resisted purchasing YouTube Red because it costs money. This might be the thing that pushes me over the edge, because at least I can skip. I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately. I don't know about you guys, and I am embarrassed to tell you what I watch, but I am watching some really like lowbrow stuff. I have gotten into these just crazy drama channels like Jeffree Star, who does like makeup videos, and I don't know, it's just such a nice like mindless thing to waste time, but I do enjoy watching those, and a lot of like educational marketing stuff as well. But now everybody's getting smart TVs, and we have a smart TV now, so I can just hit the remote control and say watch YouTube on this big beautiful screen, and I've been enjoying it. But God, like the ads ruin everything. Okay, and finally, if you are in my VIP group, remember that today is your basking day. That is the day, if you're taking the 2018 Fall Accountability Challenge, you know that today is the day that you assess all of your tasks from Sunday and see what you got accomplished, bask in the glow of your accomplishments, and get that 1 point. So you've got 3 weeks to go, and I hope you finish this week strong. You have till midnight to report on your progress. So I'll go into the group, of course, and do a private or a separate live stream about that. So that wraps up our flash briefing for today. And remember, you can get these flash briefings in little small nuggets, like 2-3 minutes each, either via Messenger bot or by asking your Alexa device to play them for you. And one last thing, I am right now developing it's probably just going to be a mini course on how to do your own flash briefings, because you guys, this is the easiest content that I create all day long. It is so easy to do these flash briefings. Not what I'm doing right now, although that's obviously very easy, but to do them, like to record them on the microphone, get them uploaded, and have them go out to the Alexa world. I am reaching people I have never they're just completely new audience who are coming in and buying my products, who are messaging me and telling me that these flash briefings are a part of their daily routine. And I'm telling you, we all wish we would have jumped on this channel or that channel or the other when it was brand new. Because at some point it becomes saturated and so much harder to make a name for yourself. Right now is the time. And you come up in search on Amazon. So when someone goes to Amazon and they type in your thing, whatever it is. So Phyllis here is a podcasting expert. So if someone types in like podcasting tips, but that's in Phyllis's description and her keywords of her flash briefing, Phyllis is going to pop up on Amazon. Okay. I don't mean some random third tab on Amazon. I am talking about in the big Amazon search bar. It is coming up. So that alone is worth it. It is practically free. The platform that I use is called Sound Up Now. I'm also obviously an affiliate for them, because why wouldn't I be? They're amazing, super support. They were the first ones to hit the scene with this, and I'll put that link down below if you're interested. And I've got a coupon. If you just go to soundupnow.com and you use the front row coupon code, that'll work. But that is a very nominal monthly fee. I mean, after the coupon, I don't know, I want to say like $5 or something. And that's it. It doesn't cost you anything else to do it. It just costs you like 5 minutes a day. And it is amazing. No, and you don't have to have an Alexa, Ask Ash. You do not need to have one. And in fact, you don't have to have one to listen to other people's. Just download the app on your phone. But no, you do not. The setup is the hardest part. I published an article for Social Media Examiner, and it needs to be updated because the screen looks a little bit different from the screenshots there. And in fact, we're emailing back and forth right now so I could get that updated. Actually, if you go to my blog, that article is more updated. So if you go to jenlehner.com/blog, you'll see the post, and there's a very screenshot step-by-step how to set up your Alexa. But the thing is, that's it. That's going to take you about 30 minutes to an hour. It's not difficult. It's just like following a recipe. You got to make sure you do everything right, and then that's it. Once you do that, you never have to do that again. Then it's just about doing it. And and one last thing that I'm going to tell you that might turn you off. Well, one thing will turn you on and one thing will turn you off. The turn on is that you can batch this content, as you should be batching as much content as you can. I rarely use the word should, but it is just at this point, batching is the way to go. Meaning if you're going to do videos or podcasts or whatever your thing is, sitting down and carving out a day or two a month where you just knock out a whole bunch of it and then schedule it is really a dream. And it's to me, it's the key to my own productivity. I can tell you that for sure. So, you can batch these, and let's say, let's see here. So let's go back. Let's pick on Phyllis again. So let's say Phyllis, she's just going to do, her show is going to be all about tips. Podcasting tips. Okay. I bet you right now, if you didn't even have to think, you would not even have to think about it, Phyllis, and you could probably write down 150 without pausing your pen, right? You could write down 150 just really quick tips about podcasting, whether it is, making sure that you're in a room that has some padding and carpet and drapes. I don't know, have all the podcasting tips, and you don't even have to think about that. Each one of those tips is a briefing. And so you could carve out a day, half a day, a Saturday, whatever works for you, and sit down with your microphone and your computer and literally just start reading your tips. Okay. Once they're done, you can chop them all up. You could record them individually or carve them up after the fact. You're going to have an intro and outro, and you're always going to have a call to action in your flash briefing. You're going to call people to your Facebook group, to your website, whatever. That's it. And it's done. And so you could literally have all your content scheduled for the next 90 days, 6 months, whatever. So that's the good news. The bad news is that, and I don't really think it's bad news, and I'm going to tell you why it's not bad news, is that it looks like the people who are getting the best results for this are the people who are doing it on the daily, okay? And so it's a big commitment to say, all right, I'm going to do these every day. But for me, now here's the bad news for me. I can't batch my briefings because I am not always the sharpest tack in the box. Is that the phrase? Sometimes the obvious escapes me. So when I set out to do this, I thought, I'll do news. Well, guess what? With news, you can't batch it. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Duh. So that means I have to get up very early every morning so that I can do this. And, but here's the thing. It has been hi Mandy. It has been the best thing for me personally and for my business on so many levels. Because think about it like this. How many times have you get up and you're just like, have a really hard time getting started with your workday? Like you've got a mountain of stuff you should be doing, but you don't even know where to begin. Okay. I bet I'm not the only one who finds myself in that situation. Most of the time I've got my schedule pretty well formatted, but even the most organized people, you sometimes get in a rut. And what this forces me to do is do it. And when I do it, it's like, it's keeping me super sharp in my genre. I bet you there's no other social media strategist that knows quite as much, knows the latest news as quickly as I know it. I even beat Social Media Examiner with my news before they get it out. Half the time, And they have the whole team, and they're like super huge. And that's because while I'm asleep, my assistant, who's in the Philippines, she's wide awake and she's able to see all the news as it breaks. So when I wake up, she's listed it all for me on a Google Doc, and I got the freshest news. So that's good for me because I'm a person who, that's what I deliver to people is social media information. So it keeps me really sharp in my own, in my lane, in my game, in my industry. So I never really feel like I'm like, oh, I need to go and see what's new in Instagram, or I need to go see what's new with Twitter, because that was happening before I started doing this, because I would get so locked into whatever project I was doing, and I'd get really deep into Twitter, or I'm creating a course, or I'm doing whatever, and meanwhile all this stuff is happening, and then I find out about it on day 3, and I just can't stand that. And it makes me feel like I'm like I'm behind, and I'm not in the know. So whatever your industry, it's good for that. And just the routine of doing it is really good. Good things are going to come out of it. And the biggest surprise has been the people who message me and say, I listen to you every day. And then I can tell you this, the minute someone tells you that they listen to you every day, I really don't think at that point you can stop, because now you are picturing that person, and of course, is the world going to end if the people who tell me that don't hear me anymore? They're not probably even going to know that I'm not there anymore. But for me, I feel like now there's an expectation, and I don't want to let them down, so I got to do it every day. Phyllis, daily or Monday through Friday. So I think that if you are going to do what I really recommend, which is batching on topics, like if you did podcasting tips, why not just do it every day? For me, I just had to have a break because I'm doing them live every single day. So it just gives me a break, and people seem okay with it, with me doing that. And because I say in the briefing, this is your weekend edition, then if they listen to, because the way it works is you go to your device and you say, hey, play my flash briefings, and then they're going to play all of your flash briefings in the order that you have them stacked in your app, okay? Or if you never went to the trouble of doing that, thank you, Rolga, that is a very kind thing to say. If you do it that way, or if you don't do that, it'll just do it by default in the order in which you added these briefings, okay? And so if you don't add a new one, they're going to hear your same one every day. And so if they hear me on Saturday or they hear me on Sunday, they're going to hear weekend edition. And I end it by saying, I'll be back Monday with a brand new flash briefing for you. So that's how I'm dealing with it. Probably would be better if I was doing it every day, but I just really, I don't think for me, I don't think that would be sustainable. So, I think that, yes, Diana, it would make me feel like I was not in the front row. That's how it made me feel. Okay, let me answer this question. So I would say batch your tips and go ahead and do it every day, because there would be no reason not to. But if you're going to do news, then yeah, I think 5 days is fine. And let's see, Ash says, if you're doing tips instead of news, could you get your VA to push them out each day? Well, you don't have to, but you certainly could. You wouldn't have to, because when you batch them, I didn't explain this very well. What Sound Up allows you to do, and just like, many podcasting hosts, and actually they host podcasts now as well, is they allow you to load them all up, and you're just going to put the dates, and they're going to automatically just on that date, on every day, they're just going to publish. They're just going to keep publishing. Oh, sorry. I know that sounds so bad when I hit the microphone. So does that make sense? And then, of course, if you don't want to do that, then yeah, you could do your VA. The other thing I want to say, and I'm looking to see if we have any agency people here. Phyllis, this could be something that you definitely offer to your clients, but so imagine this. If you are an agency and you offer social media services, marketing services to, let's say, I have a lot of people in VIP who do this locally. So they have lots of local businesses who they help, whether it's a drugstore or a restaurant or whatever. Now imagine going into your pitch meeting or your contract renewal meeting and say, look, we've just added a new service, and all you have to do, excuse me, pretend this is an Alexa. It looks like one, doesn't it? It's a coffee mug. You just walk in with your Alexa and you sit it down on the conference room table and you say, and you have this all set up ahead of time, and you just say, hey, Alexa, play my flash briefings. And you have it set up to play a flash briefing that you have created for that business, and they're going to hear it. Okay, so maybe it's the menu, like it's a restaurant, and so it's the specials of the day, or the drugstore, it would be, information about flu shots if it's flu shot season. Their minds are going to explode right there on their shoulders because they're busy running a restaurant. They don't know about this yet, okay? Now, what does that have to do with you and your business? Well, because Sound Up allows you to have multiple briefings. So, like, you could host all of their briefings on your Sound Up channel, okay, for every single business, and there's a million different ways. I keep hitting this. I'm sorry. There's a million different ways that you could go about doing this in terms of turning it into a process so it didn't eat up a lot of your time. But, either you're going to record the briefings for them, and how it would be so much fun to create the little sound bumpers at the beginning and the end. They're just going to love that. You could get somebody to do it on Fiverr or your VA to do it. Okay, so either you can record them and they send you on a Google Doc, that every Sunday night or whatever you make the deadline, they've got to get certain information to you, so you could batch it into these things. Or you could go to them once a month with a microphone and your laptop and have them read out the stuff. You could recognize favorite customers. We want to give a shout out to our customers. Then the local business or the restaurant should have a, what do you call the scannable codes that we never really use anymore, but it would be the perfect thing for this? The scanning codes. They could have a scanning code at the front desk, or just a bit.ly link or whatever to subscribe, or a list of instructions of how to subscribe to Alexa, yoga studios. It would just be good for every business. But here's the thing, okay, back to you and your business. How much could you charge for that? Oh my God, there's no overhead, none, except for your time, which is definitely something. But again, if you turn this into a process, it's all margins. Like huge profit margin here, huge value that you're giving to them. Mind-blowing value. I mean, you tell me one business that could not benefit from this and who would not fall off their chair when you brought this into the pitch meeting. They all would. I mean, and so, hey, Connie, thank you. Yes, QR codes. God, why could I not think of that? So, I mean, I don't know how lately all of my live streams end up being about her, Alexa. But I'm super excited about it. And I guess the last thing that I will say about it though is that it is, I think with all social media, when you're learning it and you're learning to grow your audience, and whether you're learning email marketing or Facebook ads or whatever you're learning, you're going to hear that this is not an overnight thing, right? Like, it takes time to build an audience. It takes time to see conversions. Anybody who tells you anything else is lying to you. Now, you can if someone says create a mini course in 3 days, which in my course, my little online course, that is the big, bold promise that I make. That is realistic. Content creation is a whole other story. But seeing results from that content creation, sales, conversions, it takes work and consistency. And so it's very true with these briefings. You need to market the briefing just like anything else so people hear it. But then, but you also have to make sure people can count on hearing it, which is where the consistency comes in. But it doesn't take that long. I haven't been doing it a year now, and I'm starting to see like major results. So Colette asks a great question. How could I apply this to real estate? Well, I already have students who are using this for real estate, and I have one of the guys at Sound Up is actually, he is a broker in charge. I don't even know what any of this means that I'm saying to you right now. So, but he has one for brokers and he has one for people out in the real estate market, and it's just genius the way that he uses it. So I'll try to find a link to his briefings and I'll post it down below when this is over. I'm going to make a note to myself, Chris Briefings, so that you can see it and hear it. But gosh, I mean, what is it that would be of value to your, okay, so like right off the bat, I would come at it sideways. Okay. So his name is Chris Ward, and it's Eagle Realty. But here's the thing. It makes sense. Like I like doing it for brokers and just giving tips to the brokers and all that kind of stuff. That makes sense. But if I were you, and I don't know if we had ever talked about this, but one of my favorite realtors on social media, she's not like a social media superstar or anything, but I stumbled across her years ago when I was helping a realtor and I was doing some research, and her name is Tacoma Jones, okay? Like as in Tacoma, Washington, Tacoma Jones. And all of her content on her YouTube channel and everything else is really real general stuff about like staging your home, or how to winterize your home, or things about that particular community. So she features all sorts of cool things in the community. We have a local realtor who has a Facebook group that's called Living in Shaker Heights. She's got 5,000 members in that group. She never posts anything about real estate. People go in there and they talk about everything that is happening. It's become our village, our village bulletin board or whatever. People go in there and they talk about everything, for what's going on with the school board, to the sewer, to the elections, to like everything. No one even knows that it is created and hosted by a realtor. But guess what? When she wants to make an announcement about a new listing or something, she'll ever so gently just sort of pop those in there, and no one says a thing. And she's very engaged on all the other topics, so she becomes like a really important go-to trusted member of the community. And isn't that what, like, every realtor, 90% of your business is coming from word of mouth, I would bet, if not more. And word of mouth comes because people have heard of you, which is why, you plaster your name all over the signs everywhere. But it's all about credibility and visibility and all of that. So what I'm trying to say is that the content that I would create would be helpful content that is about the community in general, like to let people know that Trash Day has been postponed because of Labor Day, so it's now one day later. Local recycling is going to be having their hazardous waste day on Friday. And I mean, I don't know, you'll just find the right calendar to subscribe to, and all you have to do is bring that to your flash briefings. And then subtly at the end, somewhere in there, you could say, and you can have nothing about real estate in the title, but everything about the town. So I would use the town that you are in, the region that you are in the title, and then so you're searchable, and then people get used to listening to the local news from you, Colette. But then you also say, in this episode, this flash briefing today was brought to you by Colette and, your friendly realtor, whatever, I don't know. You see what I mean? That's how I would go about that, because people, first of all, are only in the market to either buy a house or sell a house at a very brief period of time, which would really make it really hard for you probably to get traction in that sense. What Chris is doing with his brokers, they're going to always be brokers. That's their job. So they're going to stay listening to him. So you just want to talk about local stuff, and then when they're ready to buy a house or they're ready to sell a house, they're going to think about you because they listen to your flash briefing every day. Sounds like Tacoma Joe's doing what I'm interested in for where I live now. Check her out. I'm very impressed with her marketing. And your link for eCam, getting it today. Yay! Okay, I'll get it. Link for eCam. All right. I am going to post those things in just a moment. Nika must be out on the town because it is Friday night at 11 p.m. and she's in her early 20s, so I hope she's out having a good time. When she shows up for these broadcasts for me, it's never an expectation. It's always just sort of like a delightful treat because I don't ever expect her to be here at 11 o'clock at night. Okay, so that's it. That is really it this time. You guys, thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend. And remember, for my VIPers, I'm going in there to talk to you a little bit more about the accountability challenge. Bye.